Aliens taught him about the most lethal planet in the galaxy, not knowing it was. His commander Zixthor gestured toward the holographic display with 3 of his 7 tentacles, his bioluminescent skin pulsing with academic enthusiasm. The spiral classroom aboard the Intergalactic Academy station housed students from 47 different species. But today's lecture focused on something that unified them all: fear. Class, today we discuss the most dangerous planet in the known galaxy, Zixthor announced, his translator implant converting his chemical signals into audible speech. Planet classification, Death World Omega-7. Local designation. He paused for dramatic effect. Earth. In the back row, Marcus Chen tried to keep his expression neutral. It wasn't easy. This world, Zixthor continued, zooming the hologram to show a blue-green marble suspended in space, defies all conventional models of habitability. It should be barren. Instead, it teems with the most aggressive lifeforms ever catalogued. A Vrelian student, her crystalline body refracting the classroom's soft light, raised one geometric appendage. "Professor, I studied the atmospheric composition. Surely nothing could survive with 21% diatomic oxygen." "An excellent observation, Krelix." Zixthor's skin flickered approvingly. "Oxygen is corrosive, toxic. Yet Earth's dominant species not only tolerates it, they require it. They literally burn their food internally for energy. Controlled combustion inside their bodies constantly." Marcus suppressed a smile. He'd never thought of eating lunch as controlled combustion before. "But the atmosphere is merely the beginning," the professor continued, manipulating the hologram to show Earth's surface. "Observe the gravitational force, 9.8 meters per second squared. To put this in perspective, most spacefaring species evolved on worlds with half that crushing pressure. The structural density required for bones to withstand such force." He shuddered, his tentacles quivering. "Barbaric." A methane-breathing Gorvax wheezed through its respirator. "What about the radiation, Professor?" "The system's star is classified as a yellow dwarf, notoriously unstable." "Indeed. The star bombards the planet with radiation daily, and yet the natives deliberately expose themselves to it. They call it sunbathing." Zixthor's skin flashed colors that suggested disbelief. Some even derive pleasure from it. Marcus thought about his last beach vacation and decided not to comment. The temperature fluctuations alone should render complex life impossible. Zixthor brought up a climate chart. From -40 to +50 degrees Celsius. Daily variations of 30 degrees in some regions. The thermal stress would shatter most biological structures. "How does anything survive?" asked a small Pixian, barely visible in its environmental sphere. "Survival?" Zixthor's laugh came out as a series of chemical pops. "They don't merely survive, they thrive. Let me show you the fauna." The hologram shifted to display various Earth creatures. The class collectively recoiled. "These are called insects," Zixthor explained, showing a mantis. "Exoskeletal predators that exist in trillions. Some species can survive without their heads for weeks. This particular variety eats its mates." Marcus had never felt proud of bugs before. "And here," the professor continued, "we have bacteria, microorganisms that outnumber all other life combined. They live everywhere, in boiling acid pools, frozen tundra, even inside other organisms. Earth's dominant species carries trillions of these inside their bodies at all times." A Centaurian student looked ill, which was impressive given that her species had no stomachs. "The planet's weather systems are equally hostile." Zixthor brought up atmospheric data. Hurricanes with wind speeds exceeding 300 kilometers per hour. Tornadoes that can lift and relocate structures. Lightning storms where electrical discharge strikes the surface thousands of times per hour. "Surely the dominant species lives underground?" Krelix asked hopefully. "On the contrary." Zixthor's skin went dark with something resembling horror. "They build structures above ground, fragile dwellings of wood and stone, and when natural disasters destroy these structures, they simply rebuild in the same location." Marcus thought about Florida and had to admit the aliens had a point. "The geological activity is constant," the professor continued. "Tectonic plates grinding together, causing earthquakes. Volcanic eruptions that can alter global climate. The entire planetary surface is essentially a thin crust floating on molten rock." "What about the dominant species?" the Gorvax wheezed. "Surely they're heavily armored. Multiple redundant organs? Distributed consciousness?" "You would think so." Zixthor pulled up an anatomical diagram that Marcus recognized with growing amusement as a human body. But no, single brain, centralized nervous system, fragile skin with no natural armor. They can die from simple falls. Their bones break under stress. They require constant food and water and can only survive days without either. Then how? Because, Zixthor interrupted, they are persistence predators. They don't run fast, but they never stop. They evolved to literally chase prey until it died of exhaustion. Their bodies can regulate temperature through liquid secretion, sweating, allowing them to operate continuously in conditions that would kill most species. The class was silent, processing this information. They also developed something unique, Zixthor's voice dropped. Pattern recognition and abstract thinking beyond any other known species. They looked at lightning and learned to harness electricity. They studied chemical reactions and created weapons that can vaporize cities. They observed the stars and built machines to reach them, despite having no natural ability for space survival whatsoever. "Where are they now?" asked the Pixian nervously. "We don't know," Zixthor admitted. "They discovered radio 200 years ago, then nuclear fission, then they went quiet. Our long-range probes detected massive orbital construction around their moon, but they stopped responding to contact attempts decades ago. Current policy is to mark their system as quarantined. No ship goes near Earth." "Wise," muttered several students. "For your assignment," Zixthor announced, "I want a 5,000-word analysis on how such an improbable species could develop space technology." Class dismissed. As students filed out discussing theories in a dozen languages, Marcus remained seated. He pulled out his data pad, primitive by Academy standards, but it worked, and began typing his assignment. Zixthor noticed him. "Student Chen, you've been quiet today. Most unusual for someone from a Category 4 gravity world." Marcus looked up and smiled. "Just taking notes, Professor. Detailed ones. Excellent. Your perspective from a high-gravity environment should provide interesting insights." "Oh, it will," Marcus said. "It definitely will." As Zixthor left, Marcus looked at his data pad, then at the hologram of Earth still floating in the empty classroom. Home. He'd been at the Academy for 3 years on a cultural exchange program, wearing his gravity compensator and using a false species designation from a mining colony near Proxima Centauri. Humanity had indeed gone quiet, but not because they'd given up. They'd learned, watched, waited. The orbital construction around Luna wasn't a defense network, it was a shipyard. And in 2 months, when the first human diplomatic fleet arrived at the Galactic Council, these aliens were going to have a collective panic attack. Marcus couldn't wait to see their faces. He saved his notes, titled simply, "Everything They Got Right, and Why That Should Terrify Them," and headed to dinner, whistling a tune in Earth's crushing gravity, the Academy's maximum setting without his compensator. After all, he had a reputation to maintain.